Welcome to Drawfee, where we take your dumb ideas
and make even dumber drawings.
I'm Julia.
I'm Caldwell.
I'm Jacob.
You know what's a big thing right now?
What?
The big game.
The Super Bowl?
Not that big game, an even bigger game. Guys, it's World Cup time.
Ah, the beautiful game.
The beautiful game. It's here.
Beautiful game.
That's a beautiful game.
Have you ever wanted to smooch a game? Well, I have, because it's beautiful.
It's a beautiful game.
Speaking of smooching the beautiful game, you know, it's a beautiful game, but I think there's some room for improvement.
I agree.
So I think today we're going to see ways that we can improve the World Cup.
Ooh, the World Cup or just soccer in general?
Ooh, I guess we would have to improve the entire sport of soccer, huh?
If we improve soccer, we make the World Cup better by extension.
Exactly. They make the World Cup the Universe Cup. It goes from the beautiful game to the gosh dang gorgeous game, and I'm excited to bring about that change.
We're on round 3 of the gosh darn beautiful game.
This game, I love to watch. The men are out there playing their footy. It's truly just a smoking hot game.
Look at these beautiful boys playing the beautiful game.
There's truly no limit to the fuckability of this game.
It's just so fuckable.
I'm rock hard, Nigel.
I'm rock hard for this perfect sport. An absolute smoke show of a competition.
Caldwell, do you have sporting? I know you have a history of being a bit of a sport boy.
I was a sport boy growing up.
You got any experience with the beautiful game?
I didn't play the beautiful game. I played its ugly cousin, American football.
Ugh,
Oh.
the hideous game.
The hideous game. The despicable competition, as it's known. No elegance, no style, no grace to that game. I'm
None
kind
at
of
all.
just building a space here.
Yeah, this is a nice chessboard you've drawn for the field.
This is a turn-based soccer game.
This is, all right, presenting in 2019, Soccer Tactics.
Okay, but I would play the hell out of Soccer Tactics, let's be honest.
That would actually be super good. It would be like, would it be that super zoomed out view, and then there would be like all these colored lines jutting out from different areas to show like your tactical pathways that you could take?
Or would it be like Fire Emblem kind of like square-based movement where you have different types of soccer players?
And your babies come back from the future and fuck.
Yes.
Yeah. Then create beautiful soccer babies for future.
I don't know. I wasn't super into Soccer Tactics Advance until I got to the fucking the future fucking factor that really adds like a nice fold to the beautiful game. It makes the beautiful game the sexy game.
It's a breeding portion of the game where you have to like pair up your best players and breed them.
Yeah.
So you can produce even better players in the next generation.
Like a racehorse. Yeah. Is this a pit?
Yeah, this is my... All right, so I've got to the portion of the show where I'm going to talk about my improvement, which is hole.
Okay, I like it.
Just hole? One hole?
Just hole. One hole. So I think that soccer, you know, it takes place in a contained arena, as we all know. And I think that that's like good because, you know, you know the rules, you know all the limitations. And so like you kind of, any skill and expression takes place within this like constrained field. But I thought it'd be fun if there was just a hole that you could fall into. And if you fall into the hole, you're out of the game.
Yeah, and also out of this earth.
Exactly.
The hole is unknowable.
The hole is unknowable, and I think it's fun because, you know, everybody already chants goal when people score a goal. So, like, you could just have them scream, hole!
Hole!
The fun part about hole is that if a player falls into hole, they're done. But if ball falls into hole, you get to launch an expedition.
To go find it?
Now, this is not to scale, but there is going to be kind of an entire subterranean court down here.
Oh.
The undercourt.
Yeah, it's going to be rigged with cameras, and I think, you know, it'll probably be more of a maze than this, so let's kind of, like, get in here. There'll probably be some, like, side passages and caverns. There will definitely be henchmen. I think what we're adding here is kind of like a Legends of the Hidden Temple Metroidvania aspect.
Oh, yeah.
Sure, yeah.
And, you know, I think it's probably like, if you come over here, you can get like, maybe you can retrieve your players. This is like the player jail.
So this is like when you're watching Awesome Games Done Quick and they have like, you know, save or kill the animals. you can choose save or kill the players that have fallen into the hole. Saves a little time to just leave them, so.
And I think here will be like the soccer serpent, and like you have to go and retrieve your ball from them.
Yeah, it's a funny thing about the beautiful game football that a lot of people don't know is that they only have one ball.
Exactly.
So they can't get another one. So if it goes into hole, they're going to have to get it out or else no one can play.
Exactly. Because like the ball is kind of like a crucible for the experiences and emotions of the players. So you can't just like start over with a new ball. You've poured your heart and soul into that ball.
It's a Space Jam situation where the players' souls are in the ball.
Exactly.
I have a question about how this dungeon would work.
What could you possibly have a question about?
So here's my question. So in soccer, when you go to a shootout at the end, you do the 2 double overtimes, then you go to a shootout. You're only allowed to use the players on the field for the shootout, right? Like you're not allowed to substitute anyone in. Does that mean that the soccer players who are on the field are the only ones who can do the spelunking adventure?
I think you're allowed to choose your party for the expedition.
Oh, okay. Because it would be fun to find very niche athletes that could both spelunk, dungeon crawl, and play soccer.
Exactly. Hold on. Yeah, wait. 1 second. Let me just fix this guy.
Yeah, they got to run with their gear during the game.
His adventuring pack.
He's got a sword and shield. And he's going to be weighed down by that because you do need to wear that the entire time, which makes me think that there would just be players who are kind of just wearing a full suit of armor on the field all the time.
God, that gets hot, though.
Yeah, it's a trade-off, because then you have that defense in case you have to go into hole.
Right.
But you're not going to be as live as the other players, the lighter players who are, focusing on running and kicking.
I think it's going to reinvigorate the game. And I think that maybe we could have, like, the World Cup could be the hole itself. What this is an actual World Cup.
Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It does sound, if you just, say the World Cup without thinking about soccer, it does sound like some real JRPG bullshit.
This is jail. Just need to clarify that. And then I think probably here is like the Trickster's Grotto, where you can bargain for your soul, or also I think maybe play a mini game of sorts.
Yeah.
So I'll just put a little jester cap here.
There's a place where you can exchange your soccer points for new gear and items.
Exactly.
They say FIFA is a rigged organization, but man, they let you take your soul back. So I don't know. They seem pretty fair.
Yeah.
Your soccer soul. I think I've done all I can to improve the game.
It's a very good game.
It's a good game, but I think that this can make it a great game. Did y'all have any ideas for how to improve this beautiful sport?
I do, Caldwell.
Okay, let me just color my iconography first.
Yeah, that seems necessary. This won't be colored later.
Yeah, by May.
By Julia, so it's probably good to do that now.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So, Caldwell, you've made some pretty fundamental changes so far to the beautiful game of football/soccer.
We should come up with a new name for one of them, because I'm tired of clarifying. I guess American football works fine, but maybe we should just say football, just to really make it more distinct.
But
or
do we sound
footy.
like assholes?
When we say football?
Yeah, that's
Football.
the question that we kind of have to ask ourselves.
I like that, and the problem with saying foodie, Julia, is do we sound like perverts?
That is a problem, and
Well,
I am
they say
concerned.
footy. They say footy in England sometimes. Play a bit of footy.
But aren't they a bunch of perverts in England? I've heard that somewhere.
Yeah, no, you're right. I forgot. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
How about
right.
this? Instead of saying footy, we say feeties.
Oh.
No.
That's worse.
Now you're definitely a pervert.
Feeties. I'm going to go play some feeties.
You guys want to join me for some feeties? No, I don't.
I hate feeties.
You guys want to play some toe ball?
No.
No,
Come on, man.
No.
You're not allowed to just say that.
Can't just say, come on, mate. You can't just say that out loud. Now, Jacob, you're free to include or exclude whole in your designs.
It's safe to assume that hole is present and it's impossible to get rid of.
Right. You cannot go against the will of whole.
It is impossible to go against the will of hole.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm thinking, though, and this will address, some common complaints I think that people have, like people who aren't fans of soccer. One of the things they always say is nothing happens. They're not scoring enough.
Yeah, like the very intense sport that is baseball or American football, where there's just a lot of action constantly.
American feeties?
Well, you think
American
about,
feeties.
You think about basketball, they're constantly scoring. And
It's
they
true.
never stop.
Yeah.
To the point where all points become meaningless.
Yeah, I see a slam dunk and I just fall asleep in my chair.
Yeah. Like, it means nothing to me anymore. So what I'm proposing here is maybe a best of both worlds scenario. So there's a sliding scale as you move forward in the World Cup. Let's say, at the beginning of the World Cup, when you're like in round 1 with your good toe game team, it's your standard stuff. You got, 2 teams, you got 1 soccer ball, you got 2 goals. Here's a goal over here. There's going to be a goal over here, too. It's a small field.
What more could I want? You've described the beautiful game, Jacob.
I think what we're missing here is the opportunity to escalate the situation.
Oh,
So
lasers.
let's say you make it into the next round. You're in the quarterfinals now. Now we got 2 balls.
Whoa.
Yes.
Each team gets a ball. So we got balls on both sides now.
Mm-hmm. 2 balls in play.
2 balls in play, and both teams trying their darndest to get that thing in, the other team's goal.
Now, Jacob, how many ultimate frisbees are there in play?
How many ultimate frisbees? Well, in the quarterfinals, none.
Okay, right.
But we're not to the semifinals yet.
That was my favorite part of camp. Instead of just playing soccer or ultimate frisbee, the counselors had gotten bored. So they literally would just throw 5 soccer balls on the field and be like, "Oh, ultimate soccer." And then they would just throw some frisbees as well.
Just go nuts, I guess.
Yeah. God has abandoned you.
No one can save you now.
It was just, it was like Lord of the Flies, but with soccer balls. Oh, B. What does the B stand for?
Well,
It's
it's
Team
Team
B?
A and Team B, yeah.
I do like that these dudes don't have shin guards, which adds another level of difficulty.
This guy's not even wearing shoes yet.
No, it's true.
And maybe he just isn't.
Shin guards are good because for my game, for the whole variant, you could hide a lot of daggers in those.
Oh, that's true. Some gear maybe is in there too, like some spare rope or some healing ointment.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Hole is over here right now.
Oh, thank you.
Just so you know that Hole still is in play. But there's so many more balls at this point to go into Hole.
Oh, no.
So the dangers are, multifold at this stage of the game.
Now, do you think that since there are multiple balls, this is good because you could continue the upper play
Yes.
while also doing a deep stadium play?
A deep play, yeah. Well, only one of the balls is the one true ball that contains the souls of all the players.
Exactly.
And the others are cheap replica knockoffs, disgusting and foul. So we reach like the semifinals, I think, and that's when we start adding in more goals.
That's everyone's favorite part of soccer is yelling goal. So now the more they yell goal, the more goals appear.
It's like sort of the people get a say. It's like a Twitch chat situation where as people scream goals, there's just like goals coming out. They're all over the place. And like no longer are they relegated to like, oh, well, this is my team's goal. This is your team's goal. You get it in any of these, you're getting points.
Is there a construction team on the field putting up these goals?
The goals just spew forth from Hole.
Oh, that's perfect.
Nice.
So no one is sure how it happened or why, but once it started happening, the players got so hyped, it was impossible to stop them from doing it. So they had to just put it in the rules. And playing defense doesn't exist anymore. Everyone on the team has balls. Everyone on the team has their own goals.
Everyone is technically a forward.
Everyone's a forward.
Exactly.
Everyone's a striker. They're all just kicking balls into goals as fast as they can. The points are going through the fucking roof. And the crowd is just like going absolutely batshit insane.
I think that this is probably that dang football trickster's fault.
It probably is. This seems like his type of move.
The toe ball trickster from deep within his grotto.
We've got like a real Persona 3 Tartarus situation here of goals where they're just...
This is procedurally generated, Jacob.
It's procedurally generated goals. Every court is different. That's right, court.
It
The
is a
soccer
court now.
It is about the size of a tennis court now, to be fair.
Yeah.
Because there's just so many goals on there. You can't back up.
And it'd be fun because there's goals that you could only reach by climbing on other goals.
Yeah, you have to do like tricks. Like you have to like knock them maybe off one goal into some other goals.
Yes.
And to make things even more, spicy and interesting, getting it into one goal, that doesn't necessarily equate to 1 point. These goals got different values.
Oh, are they like color-coded?
Only way to find out is to get one in and see how many points you get.
Now we've done like an arcade kind of skee ball sort of situation.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, then you play until the whole field is so filled with goals that no one can continue.
Or everyone's in the hole.
Or everyone has fallen into the hole. Yeah, once everyone has entered hole, they stop and calculate the points.
My favorite memory as I went and saw one of the beautiful games, just a real sexy game that I went to go see, and they scored goal, and I cheered, and I looked over at my friend and said, "Did you see that?" But unfortunately, he was transformed into a goal and could not speak to me.
Yeah, it's real tragic, but you're also like, dang, good for you. You got to be the goal.
Wow, yeah. What a great memory you'll share.
It's an honor.
And also, I guess this is your life now. You've been called to service.
They say that being goal is the most peace a man can find.
You would say that it is a life goal.
And there is one frisbee. That's the end.
Oh, thank God.
There's one ultimate frisbee. No one is sure what you're supposed to do with it.
It's just there.
But it is there, and sometimes they throw it, and maybe it gets points. I don't know. Unclear. The hole spit it out.
It's kind of like a style move.
It's clear that the hole has a purpose in mind for it, but it's yet to be discovered, which kind of adds this element, too, of like they're still trying to solve all the mysteries of the game now.
Exactly. And I do think that is maybe an optional task. There's probably a lot of like lore that you can discover in Hole about the origin of Hole.
Also, I guess the game's called Hole now.
I was trying to think of something with like goal and hole.
It's called Goals and Holes.
Goals and holes.
I kind of just like hole.
Yeah, I like Hole a lot.
We're here to play the most beautiful game, hole.
Playing is mandatory. If we don't play, the hole will continue to grow larger.
Look at that hole.
They have to just show up and play wherever Hole opens, which they don't know where that's going to be.
There's like an Evangelion-style screen that says Hole spotted.
We're about to discover what country we're going to play this year's World Cup hole.
Oh God, it's here.
Oh my God, it's right
right here.
beneath me. What an honor. What a tragedy.
Julia, do you want to draw something?
I do. Let me in.
I've gone on long enough with this soccer nightmare.
So I really enjoy what you guys have. I'm actually very into soccer in general. I mean, you guys have done a fantastic job as is.
I mean, you can agree that we've made universally positive changes.
We did unleash Hole upon the world, and I don't know if the repercussions have fully been explored yet, but I think that it's benefited mankind. It's brought us all together.
Yeah, at least we have a common threat.
A common enemy, yeah.
Not sure if Hole is a threat yet. Still working that one out.
Is Hole friend or foe? It's unclear.
A lot of hot take think pieces on the nature of Hole.
To be fair, this does seem like an ancient civilization kind of sport where they're like, well, I guess this is what God wants. Time to chuck people in.
It's very Mayan.
All right, so I've started with hole.
Yeah, I think it's
very important.
It's safe to start with Hole.
It's good and safe to start with Hole.
You have followed the true path.
The thing is, I know that FIFA as an organization has some slight corruption issues, and that's the thing is that Hole wipes all that clean.
Sometimes the hole speaks and just goes, throw the bin. Hide the bin.
It doesn't speak audibly, but it does echo throughout your memories.
Yeah.
Right.
So that you think that you've always wanted to throw them in.
What an attractive game.
Really is. You're just like, wow, Hole takes care of everything. It takes care of the corruption.
Remember that year that Hole fed everyone on Earth? And then there was world peace.
The Hole does give.
The Hole gives and the Hole takes away. It's
a very generous.
This is some 17776 shit right now. What are you thinking, Julia? What's your innovation?
Okay, so I know my own complaints with soccer because I watch it quite a bit. I've played it quite a bit.
Is it that they don't worship Hole enough?
Yes. Certainly. To be fair to soccer players today, they are unaware of Hole.
Right.
They will be soon.
They will be when it consumes them.
They have not known the gospel of Hole. This happens way too much on Drawfee, where we start with an innocent enough approach, and by the end of it, we have created a religion.
And not just created a religion, but created one that I am fully subscribed to.
Yeah, I'm in.
Hole is eternal. You can see Hole in any part of your life. When you drink from a glass, that's just a very shallow hole. You're worshiping. You're praising Hole.
Glasses were made in Hole's image.
Ever been in a hot tub? Ooh, that's a nice warm hole, baby.
Yep, that's a warm, wet hole.
Oh, something emerging from Hole?
Something is not emerging, but so my complaint with soccer, and I think this is a common complaint with a lot of people, but it's even more annoying when you watch it as much as I do, is diving. People tend to take a lot of dives. And I know that in soccer, so soccer is one of the sports where they do like the most amount of work. The only one more that I can think of is rugby. But they run on average 10 miles per game alone.
It's a lot of miles.
Jesus,
In the
whole
span of-
Christ.
In the span of less than 2 hours, which is insane because it's all sprinting, so their muscles are like to the max. So you get it, like they're going to be more injury prone, right? Okay, first of all, this guy has beautiful hair because
He's a soccer player.
Soccer players have to have beautiful hair. So there's still a lot of diving because they get tired and it's a strategic thing. They dive to slow down the pace of the game if the other team is like starting to catch up a little bit. But I think a way to kind of keep that from happening more is that when someone dives and it's a clear dive, the hole just takes them.
So the hole moves, or the hole sends like one of its hole children to just swallow them up?
I think the hole does a sort of snake thing where it rumbles the ground around it and just launches and drags the players to it.
Oh, it shapes the field.
And you're not allowed to get these players back.
Exactly. They're in jail.
Yeah, not now, not ever.
Yeah, they're in jail.
They're in the penalty chamber.
It's at least 1,000-year sentence. We have yet to see one of the divers return.
They must toil. This is great. Now, when you dive, is that like, are you diving as a way of making it seem like you got injured, or how does that work?
There's a few reasons why people dive. One, so that the other player will get a card, which makes them have to play a little more conservatively, so they don't get another card, so they don't get red carded, and they don't get kicked out. Another one is like if a team is winning, they will dive so that the other team is forced to slow their momentum. And another one is if you dive and it's called as like a penalty or a free kick, like right outside the box, then you have a really nice shot of being able to score it in. It's very annoying.
So now with hole, you dive, you die. That's the rule.
If
Well,
you
you
dive,
can
you
never
die.
you can never truly die. If
Oh,
the
no.
hole takes you.
It's true. The hole will keep you alive, whether you want to live or not.
Right, but then once every few hundred years, something emerges from hole.
Oh, shit.
It's just the players who have dove in the past just emerge from the hole.
Oh my god, are they like an amalgam? Like they've been fused?
Yeah.
They've been reformed in the punishment womb deep within
Oh, no.
hole, and now they're back reborn.
It's nice, though, because then they're like, oh my god, it's the return of our favorites. Neymar's here.
There he is.
Williams.
They're
I
all-
loved that guy.
They're all one horrid creature now that we must defeat.
And this is fun because, number one, they do become a third team unto themselves on the field. But also afterwards, they're a free agent, and then you get to like have all the managements and all the clubs, argue over who gets to have this unspeakable abomination on their squad.
Real Madrid has threatened to buy the whole glob for a total of £12 million. It seems really low considering it's like 50 players in that blob, but let's see if PSG can give a better offer.
Wow, I can't believe West Ham got the whole abomination. They're going to be unstoppable this year.
Weirdly enough, they've chosen Wolverhampton. We're not really sure why.
Could have something to do with that ancient rune that's carved onto the statue in that town specifically. What are those? Oh, that's another face. I thought those were some
Oh no, it's just gonna be faces on faces. and
faces on faces. I thought that was maybe some nipples. I was thinking
Oh
like,
yeah, hold on. He does have a chest, weirdly enough.
yeah, sure.
But it's mostly covered in more faces.
Yeah, so there it is.
That little mouth next to those nipples made it look like a very unaware face. It was very funny.
There you go.
Hey, I don't.
Oh no.
What's going on? I've been in the hole for so long.
I do love the idea of this chaos element of the game where like you never know when this is going to emerge.
Yeah.
Like you don't know how many players have to fall in before it's triggered.
Yeah. Oh, you don't know what the soul trigger is.
Yeah, you don't know what the soul trigger is for this thing to come out. And like, players and teams try to like take advantage. They're like, it's got to be getting close. Like, let's take a couple dives, get a couple of our worst players in there. Maybe it'll trigger.
Yeah, the hole is glowing red. It must be nearing the soul trigger.
Yeah.
So these teams have to have knights, spelunkers, soccer players, sacrificial useless ones.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah, it's a great honor to be sacrificed to the hole.
To become one with a whole abomination
Mhm.
is truly the greatest pleasure one can know.
Exactly.
This one is kind of happy.
Oh, he's having a great time.
Yeah, he's gonna.
To be a part of something bigger truly gives you purpose in life. Literally something bigger. Unknowably big.
Yeah, it keeps going down. They're like, we've defeated it, and it just keeps coming up. And you're like, no, you haven't.
I was thinking, how is Julia going to find a way to draw something weird and unpleasant to look at in this episode about a real life sport? And by Hole, we've done it. By Hole's grace, we have prospered.
Praise be to Hole, you know?
I didn't know how I would improve a sport that I genuinely enjoy, but here we are. We've genuinely found a better way. Another thing that I think might be a fun element.
Yeah.
I think that, like, FIFA, after a while, they know that this unknowable horror is here.
Right.
So I feel like FIFA would be an elected, like, council of, like, great warriors and mages.
The FIFA Council, they're here.
They're here.
Eventually, FIFA is a title given to one person.
Yeah.
I am the FIFA.
The Grand FIFA.
Okay, now what does Grand FIFA do?
I think he just goes to defeat this.
Oh, you think that, like, they've been trained for generations?
Yeah.
They're like the sacred order, sworn to defeat the Whole and bring soccer back to its original beautiful state.
Yeah, but there's like one for each country, so it's whichever each country that's represented in that World Cup for that year too. It's very weird. You would think that, like, the world would band together to kind of defeat this thing that requires human sacrifice, but no. FIFA's like, nah, we just have these countries that come in. So there's, like, a representative from France, from Argentina, it's...
They each have their own Grand FIFA.
Yeah, and whichever Grand FIFA comes in and defeats it is the one that wins the World Cup.
So they're like... There are people ostensibly still on the soccer field just trying their damnedest to play soccer. While, like, this monster is, like, rampaging and wizards are flying around, like, doing battle with it.
It's like a Hogwarts kind of situation.
I do like to think that the Grand FIFA Order and this kind of mounting rebellion, they whisper in the darkness. They're like, it used to be a beautiful game, but now it's downright ugly.
An uglier game I've never seen.
I do like the idea that people's complaints are still like, my team isn't in the World Cup this year fighting it's just corruption, am I right? Why aren't we allowed to defeat the Whole?
Man, my team's not in the World Cup, and also my whole family is goals now.
As I was talking, my hands have become goalposts. Oh, my internal organs are becoming a fine mesh. And I'm a goalpost now.
Guess this is the last thing I'll say.
In the way where, World War I is referred to as the Great War, this would be just called the Great Game, or the game to end all games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one plays any other sport anymore.
Because
It's
everyone's a goal.
irresponsible, too.
Exactly. The ever game.
The ever game.
There was a bunch of rogue Americans that tried to play American football, and of course they were swallowed up by Whole.
Yeah, you'll get swallowed right away if you try that. Whole knows.
We did have a very good goalie, which in the grand scheme of things doesn't really mean much when you're just surrounded by so many goals, because it can only, cover one, those goalies. So, like,
Exactly.
it's pretty useless.
Eventually, yeah, you just end up with multiple goalies. The goalies kind of become their own clan, I think.
Yeah.
A rogue agent.
Yeah, they become Ronin.
Yeah, wandering goalies.
In a land full of goals, the goalie is king.
In the official game, they replaced all the goalies with holies, which are people that are designed to guard the hole.
And they are literal angels. Brought forth by a vengeful god.
I can't wait to watch the World Cup.
It's going to be great this year.
It's going to be fun. Yeah, like we're all going to be so enchanted when a small hole appears, and little do we know, 200 years later, this is our future. I feel like we've done all we can. Should we start winding it down?
I think we're good, yeah.
Yeah, I think
Let's
we're
close
done.
it out.
You can catch us on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. You can also catch us on Twitch. We do live Twitch streams on Fridays. All the links will be in the description. I'm sorry about the sacrificial hole.
I say praise
I'm
be
not
to the
sorry.
hole.
Praise be to the Whole.
Praise be to Whole. Do not apologize for Whole. Welcome Whole. Welcome Whole into your life. Let hole fill the hole in your life. Oh, and before we wrap up, I do want to say, watch Big City Greens on Disney Channel. It's a show that I've been working on as a storyboard artist for the last 2 years of my life. And the episodes are coming out, and I think it's really great. It is a show in a big city that has greens. There's no holes in it, though, unfortunately.
Not yet.
Not
Season
yet.
2, baby.
Season 2, the return of the hole.
I can confirm the show is super good and really funny, and everyone should go watch it.
Absolutely.
Go check it out.
Genuinely so good.
Aw, thanks, y'all. It's on the Disney Now app and iTunes if you don't have Disney Channel, or you could go to illegalcartoons.kiss.imcallingthefbi.right now.biz.
That's my personal favorite.
Yeah.
We're sorry.
Sorry.
We're sorry.